Saygıdeğer katılımcılar, öncelikle hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bugün burada sizlerle birlikte olmaktan büyük mutluluk duyuyoruz. Öncelikle bunu paylaşmalıyım. Bu webinarı bugün SVS Müşavirlik, Mühendislik ve ESAIn firmaları olarak düzenledik. Aslında birçok katılımcı ile mesleki hayatta bir şekilde tanışıklığımız oldu. Ancak ben yine de bir miktar kendimizden bahsederek başlayayım. SVS Müşavirlik, Mühendislik olarak biz bir mühendislik firmasıyız. Serdar Mesutgil, bendeniz oluyorum. Volkan Aydoğan ve Selim Öztürk'ün kurucuları olduğu SVS olarak daha ziyade endüstriyel tesislerin tasarlanması konusunda çalışıyoruz ve ilgili tüm disiplinlerde hizmet veriyoruz. Şimdi bir üretim fikrini alıp böyle greenfield'dan işleyen bir tesise dönüştürmek, düşündüğümüzde birçok disiplinin bir arada koordineli olarak çalışmasını gerektiren komplike bir konu aslında. Yani eminim sizler de benzer zorlukları tecrübe etmişsinizdir. Dolayısıyla artık yazılımlar hepimiz için büyük önem kazanmaya başlıyor. Dolayısıyla bu webinarın da hepimiz için faydalı olacağını düşünüyorum. Sizlerin de zihninde yeni pencereler açacağına eminim. Katılımcılara şöyle baktığımda aslında aynı sektörde görev alan kişileri bir arada görmek bizleri heyecanlandırıyor. Bu webinarın sizin zihninizde yeni pencere açacağını söylemiştim. Neden derseniz yaptığımız işleri düşündüğümüzde artık kullanmış olduğumuz yazılımlar bizlerin eli ayağı haline geldi. Günümüz koşullarında artık profesyonel hayat da çok hızlı olmak durumunda. Yani dolayısıyla rekabetçi olabilmek için hem hız kazanmak hem de belli kalite standartlarını yakalamak durumundayız. Bunun için de belirleyeceğimiz çalışma metotları ve seçeceğimiz yazılımlar büyük önem kazanıyor. Bu bağlamda sizleri ESAIn firmasının ürettiği ESA Pro yazılım setiyle tanıştırmak isteriz. Biz kendi işlerimizde epeyce bir süredir bu yazılımı kullanıyoruz. Doğrusunu isterseniz sektörde böyle bir yazılımın alternatifleri elbette var ama belli fiyat performans dengesindeki bir yazılım açığının olduğunu biliyor idik. Ve biz de bir yazılım arayışı içerisindeydik. Dediğim gibi epey bir zaman önce ESAIn firmasıyla ve onların ESA Pro yazılımı ile tanıştık. Bu yazılımla da epey bir proje aktif olarak tamamladık. Sektörden bir kullanıcı olarak faydasını gördüğümüz bu yazılımı kendi ülkemizdeki diğer meslektaşlarımızla da tanıştırmaktan mutluluk duyuyoruz işin açıkçası. Bu toplantının içeriğine, ajandasına bir bakacak olur isek nelerden bahsedeceğiz? Öncelikle birazcık kendimizden bahsettik. Bu ESAIn ve SVS arasındaki ilişkiden birkaç cümleyle biraz daha detaylı bahsedeceğim biraz sonra. Buna ilave olarak sevgili Daniel, ESAIn firmasında satış kısmında görevli olan arkadaşımız ESA Pro yazılım suite'inden biraz bahsedecek. Daha sonra sözü Francesco alacak. Francesco hepimize canlı olarak bu programda bir demonstrasyon yapacak ve hepimiz bunları izleme şansına sahip olacağız. Son bölümümüzde ise sorular ve cevaplar olacak. Sizlerden gelen soruları ve cevapları alacağız ve onları olabildiğince onlar tarafından yanıtlamaya çalışacağız. Bu arada dil ile ilgili sıkıntımız olmaması açısından dileyen İngilizce olarak sorusunu chat kısmından sorabilir. Türkçe olarak sorulan sorularda da çevrim açısından ben yardımcı olmaya çalışacağım. Ajandadan da böyle bahsettikten sonra şimdi SVS ve ESAIn arasında nasıl bir ilişki var ondan bahsedeyim. Öncelikle dediğim gibi biz de Daniel, can we shift to the next slide please? Öncelikle biz de ESA Pro yazılımının bir kullanıcısıyız. Ancak bunun ötesinde epey bir zamandır kullanıcısıyız ve ESAIn ile aramızda şöyle bir anlaşma imzaladık. ESAIn'in Türkiye'de satacağı yazılımlarda teknik destek konusunda biz onlara destek olacağız. Daniel, can you please shift to the next slide, please?
Yes, thank you so much for this nice introduction, Serdar.
Daniel, just a second. Can you please shift to the next slide first? I have a couple of words to tell, and then I will let you for the speech. Okay? The next slide.
Next, before
yes.
This
no,
one.
After
before.
One. The one after, the fourth one.
This one.
The collaboration between.
Sorry.
The collaboration between.
Yes, I understand. This one?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. ESAIn ve SVS arasında şöyle bir anlaşmamız var. ESAIn'in üretmiş olduğu ESA Pro bir yazılım suite'i aslında. Yani tek bir yazılımdan oluşan bir şey değil, bir yazılımlar topluluğu. Bu yazılımın Türkiye'deki kullanıcılarına teknik destek vermek konusunda yardımcı olacağız ve aramızda böyle bir mutabakat var. Bu konuda hem bizden Türkçe olarak programın nasıl kullanıldığı konusunda eğitim alma şansınız olacak. Ayrıca kullanım sırasında karşılaşılabilecek teknik sıkıntılarla ilgili de SVS'den teknik destek alma şansınız olacak. Eğer bu yazılımı kullanmayı tercih ederseniz. Bu ön bilgilendirmeyi de yaptıktan sonra ben şimdi sözü artık Daniel'a bırakayım. Birazcık daha konunun derinlerine inmeye başlayalım. Okay, Daniel, it's your turn.
Okay. Teşekkür ederim for this introduction, Serdar. Thank you so much. I will introduce our complete solution for plant design with what we are delivering. So the family of our product is divided in three families. The first family, it's a process family, where we have the main product, it's a PNID. The second family, it's a plant design software. It's for especially the 3D design connected with the PNID. And the third one, it's we separate a little bit. It's an electrical suite with the main product. It's a cable tray. When we want to design cable tray, we have some customer that they ask us. They are not in a plant design. They are, for example, designing metro. They ask us to have a separate family for the electrical part, especially for the cable tray and the cable routing. What we are offering with the support of SVS, we are offering training and technical support. We are also helping our customer to start with our technology. Again, in Turkey, it will be mainly supported by SVS. We are doing some software consultancy and integration with other systems. We are actually more and more integrating our suite with PLM suite. We, in some very specific cases, can do customization of our product for specific needs. What are the value of our solution? The big advantage, it's a drastic reduction of the time and the cost of the design of new plant. For example, ABB reported that they save something about 40% of their studies, and they gain a little. They did a maximum win on the time delivering the unit. What is important for you, the fact that is based on the DWG format, the learning curve, it's very quick, and we are offering mainly engineering tools on top of DWG format. We are partner of AutoCAD and BricsCAD, so I'll talk about DWG format. We are also sharing the data of the project using a SQL Server from Microsoft, and this can give a quality in terms of delivering the data, because we can check, and you will see when Francesco will do the demonstration, that we can know what has been changed between two versions using a SQL Server. I told before it's 100% DWG format with compatible elements like blocks, lines. We are not using custom object that it's readable only with the original software. So what you do with ESA Pro Suite, it's readable by everybody. After your partner, your subcontractor, your customer can read what you do with ESA Pro. That is very, very big advantage. We have also a maximum flexibility with licensing, and we can have perpetual license, subscription license, standalone, and network licenses. I hand over the presentation now to Francesco, that he will explain the connection between the different applications and what we are doing with the different applications.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. With this slide, we have an overview of ESA Pro workflow. And here you can see all the 11 modules that ESAIn is providing currently. In the middle, you have the project database. That is a Microsoft SQL database. We use Microsoft SQL as standard engine. So ESA Pro is a good solution also for group work. If you work in team of 20 or more people, you don't have problems to share your data. All the modules are divided in three main areas: the process areas, the plan design areas, and the electrical areas. You start from the P&ID. With the P&ID module, you can create smart P&IDs. With smart P&IDs, I mainly meaning a P&ID that is able to generate the first list. From the P&ID, you can get the lines list, the equipment list, the valve list, and the instruments list. And here you see the workflow that shows you that the application writes the data into the database, and the data are also available for another module that is named ESA Pro Instrumentation, that is able to read the P&ID data and publish the data sheets. Data sheets are mainly Excel sheets. You can use any Excel sheet you are currently using by hand, and they are fed automatically, taking their data from the P&ID. This means that when you add a pump into a process scheme and you assign a tag to this pump, P1, you can get a data sheet that is almost empty. But if you change something from the P&ID side or from the instrumentation side, adding, for example, the manufacturer or the model for this pump, the data are written automatically into the database, and they are synchronized in the other environment. So if you had the manufacturer and the model from the P&ID, you get this information automatically published into your data sheets. But if you add something or you change something from the data sheets, you have the same information that is automatically synchronized into the graphic environment without any worry. You don't have to remember anything. The data are automatically synchronized. We have also an integration with electrical schemes. Daniel, please click. Okay. The electrical design solution for schemes is not directly provided by ESAIn. Is another application that is made by an Italian company. The name of this product is SPAC automation. For some of you that are familiar with electrical tools, is something like ePlan, but it works in AutoCAD as well. And this tool is fully integrated with our workflow. This means that as a P&ID is able to generate Excel files, and one of these files could be the IO list. If you have ePlan, you have to mark by hand each item to be sure that any item you have in P&ID is marked in the electrical environment. But if you have SPAC is able to read the data directly from the ESAPro database, so you don't have to worry, because you have a to-do list on the left side, and while you are changing the schemes, your to-do list is updated automatically. So for any change or for any addition or deletion or of an item, you get a notification. This streamlines the workflow between the process engineers and electrical designers. We have another module that is named MTO. MTO is a piping BOM just for estimation. Because from the P&ID, you're able to get the mains list, as I told you, the equipment list, components list, mainly valves and inline components, but nothing more than this. With MTO, you can count all the piping materials you need to have to build this plant. And with all piping materials, I'm meaning the flanges, the gaskets, the tees, reducers. The functioning is very easy, intuitive, because it uses the piping specs used by the piping, and it applies these specs to the P&ID to see how many flanges you may need. The calculation it's easy, if you look at how many flanged components you have, you can multiply by 2 and you have the number of flanges. For the T's, you may look at the pipeline intersection, and so on and so on. The only quantity that is almost impossible to calculate automatically from a P&ID is how much pipe you need and how much elbows you need. So these quantities must be introduced, typed manually in the system, but you can get almost 90% of your bill of materials automatically from the P&ID. This could be very useful if you need to make an offer, a proposal to a customer that includes also the materials. Okay, the next step is going to the 3D world. So on the right side, we have the main application, that is ESAPRO 3D piping. We will see this application. And on the right side, you have additional modules, are optional applications that runs inside the piping. So you must have at least one piping to run this. But the most important thing in this slide is showing that ESAPRO is an open environment. It works inside AutoCAD or BricsCAD. So you are really generating 100% pure DWG files. As Daniel told you, no custom object means that the P&IDs are made by lines, blocks, tags, attributes, and the piping models are made mainly by 3D solids. So you can provide the DWG files generated by ESAPRO exactly as they are without any conversion. And this is a unique in the plant design environment. If you are familiar with other tools like AutoCAD Plant or CADWorks or many other tools that works inside AutoCAD, you know that they use custom objects. We don't use custom objects. So the file interchange is very, very easy, it's streamlined. But if you need, you may import files from external softwares, because when you work in plant design market, you must think in a way that multidisciplinary way. So you can import mechanical files from SolidWorks or Inventor, or maybe DWG files, step files, or any other, and equipment can be imported into ESAPRO or can be modeled inside ESAPRO. The difference is the level of detail. If you need a vessel in ESAPRO, you have just to create a simplified version of the vessel, because maybe you need the dimensions and the nozzles, nothing more than this, no? The standard approach of plant design system. But if you have a step files for this vessel that comes from SolidWorks, or a step file that is provided by the manufacturer for a pump, you can reuse it easily without problems. The same is for the civil AEC models, BIM models. So you are able to import files from Revit if you have the need to create a plant inside a building. Okay, you have two possibilities, DWG or IFC, because we are compatible with BIM technology. So ESAPRO is able to read the IFC files, rich files, and publish, we'll see, IFC files. So we are compatible with the BIM workflow. If you have a customer that is asking you to work with BIM and provide him the IFC files, we are compatible with this. We have several customers that are using this technology and with satisfaction. But this particular feature needs BricsCAD. You have the same features on both environments. With BricsCAD, you have one feature more, that is the IFC compatibility. So if you need to read the IFC, you need at least one BricsCAD license. The same is for the steel details softwares. Tekla is the widely used in the world. We are compatible to the IFC format, so you can import the IFC or DWG. And the point cloud technology, this is a huge technology that may help you if you need to perform a revamping. In revamping case, you need to take measures and rebuilding the existing model to work with, but this is not necessary because if you have a laser scanner, you can import directly the point cloud into ESAPro, and then you can model your plant inside it and see the interferences as many other things. So we are compatible. On the right side, okay, now it's time. Thank you. You can export your files to the other environment as DWG or IFC. And on the right side, you have the additional application. Head loss module lets you to perform the loss of, calculate the loss of pressure of an existing pipeline. You may select a path, specify the fluid, the conditions, the inner pressure and the load, and the software will calculate what is the loss of pressure. Additional feature. Another interesting additional feature is to have the possibility to design the piping support in details. This is unique in plain design environment. Usually you have standard supports and they are basic support, and you can't use these functionalities to create detailed drawing for your support. With the ESAPro supporting module, you can combine your support using the shoes, the clamps. You can customize the catalog. It's a real catalog with all the dimensions, and at the end you get the bill materials of all the materials that are used to define your supports, and constructive drawings with bill of materials, dimension, and so on. If you change the 3D model, the constructive drawing is updated accordingly in real time, and on vice versa. If you change the detailed drawing, you get the changes in 3D model. It's powerful tool and is very, very intuitive. Everything in ESAPro is very user-friendly, and you see this. And the last module is stress interface. With stress interface, you are able to export 3D piping geometry into stress analysis software. The most used one is CESAR2, but we are compatible with also with AutoPipe, ROR2, and PassSuite, and they are 100% of market of stress analysis tools. We have another module is named ESAPro Isometrics to perform the isometric sketches. We don't use Isogen. If some of you are familiar with Isogen, they know that Isogen have good points and bad points. We think that ESAPro isometrics could be a good alternative solution to Isogen because it doesn't suffer of the main problems that Isogen has, and I will show you this. And we have an additional module that is named ESAPro Spool that lets you to perform more or less the same thing you make with Spool Jam. You can set the erection wells, and you get the bill of materials divided per spool, and you get one sketch for each spool, and it's a post treatment of your isometrics to get the spool sketch. The last part, please click, Daniel, is the electrical design solutions. One click more. Okay. ESAPro cable trace is a separate module that lets you to draw the electrical raceways. So it can be used even if you don't have the piping. If you use Aviva or CADWorks or AutoCAD Plant, why not? You can open the 3D model and draw the cable trace inside it. You have some default catalogs that can be customized by you easily to add Turkish manufacturers, for example. Yeah, okay. We have some international manufacturer, but we can't have the manufacturer of the entire world. Okay, but it's easy to customize. At the end, you get the bill of materials, how many cable trays, how many covers and clips, and so on. We have also an additional module as a pro cable routing that lets you to read an Excel files with a cables list. It maybe is a list of cables you want to route with the cable section, the start and the end, and so on. And the cable routings module lets you to route automatically your cables inside the electrical raceways. At the end, you get a list of how many cables you routed, how many cables you have to buy for this, and it's very efficient. And this tool were used to perform the entire Copenhagen metro network. Okay, the metro network of Copenhagen was made using this tool. And last part, external interfaces to other environments, a PDM. So we are PDM friendly, as I like to say. So we are compatible with most of PDM on the market, but we have a module that is named ESAPro PDM Connector that was released during these weeks, and this module lets you to perform standard tasks with any PDM, check-in, check-out, and store bill of materials. These could be useful for companies that are currently using Inventor or SolidWorks to perform piping. They are not made for piping, but most of companies are using, and they use the PDM, and say they want to combine together the bill of materials, so you can get the mechanical bill of materials that continue to make with SolidWorks, and we perform the piping bill of materials, and you can combine them because you have a PDM. The other step is compatibility with viewers and clouds environments. Navisworks most of all. Okay, so we are compatible with Navisworks. This means yes, we have DWG, so Navisworks is able to read our model without any conversion, but we are also able to publish IFC or the DWFX, so you can have smart models. You can inspect your models to see the pipe properties and valves and so on. So we are 100%. And the last one is a workflow that lets you to have the compatibility with our main competitors in the oil and gas industry. In Italy, we have about nearby the 60% of overall Italian installation of plan design, more than 50, and we are close to 60. Okay, 60% of total installation of plan design softwares in Italy are made by ESAPro, and the rest, the 40, is SmartPlant, Aviva, CADWorks, and AutoCAD Plant, and Cadmatic. Okay, we are expanding our business, but we are compatible also with our competitors, because if you export a skid or a package made by ESAPro as IFC file, you can import it into Aviva or into SmartPlant, and you can inspect this. It's not a native project and never will be, but you can manage materials with material softwares we are compatible with, and for the graphic side, you have a good alternative to step files, and you can import them. Okay, this is the workflow. I left the word to Daniel, and we'll come back after this with a live session.
This is some of our customers in it worldwide. So we have different kind of customer in oil and gas, in energy in general, but also in water treatment, in cemetery, everybody who needs to design a new plant is using our technology. And we started to have a strong collaboration with Turkey, with SVS. And also we have a new customer, Ki Engineering, that is started to design PNIDs and instrumentation since this August, using ESAPRO PNID and ESAPRO instrumentation. So he just started. So this is our presentation of the general presentation of our suite, and I will leave the hand now. I hand over to Francesco again for a live demonstration.
Okay, it's my turn. We start now with the live demo. After this session, in the closing, you can type questions in the Q&A section of Teams, and we will be happy to provide any answer. For this presentation, I switched temporarily off my camera just to spare a bit of bandwidth.
Me too.
Okay,
Me too.
we'll come back. I'll share my screen, the entire screen. Okay. Now you're watching my desktop, and this is ESAPRO. Okay, you have as many icons as products, because all the products can be purchased or rented separately, because we have permanent licenses and subscription licenses. Subscription licenses is what you have to pay every year, like AutoCAD, to have an idea. Or permanent licenses is, okay, you have to pay once and the software is yours. You don't have to pay anymore, just for the technical support or for updates, but you spare money. And here you have the PNID. Mainly you work with AutoCAD. You open your file. You can save it. This file, you can save this file with any name at any location without any restriction. Okay, you're not forced to work with a standard environment with a fixed path or folder structures. Okay, so this is my file name. I can rename it at any time. And as I told you, this is a standard AutoCAD entities. Okay, this is a block reference, and this is a line. In fact, if you pick this and properties, you see the standard AutoCAD properties, and the same is for this line. But if you double click on it, you get the lines properties, because this is not just a green line, is actually a process line with pressures, temperatures, with line number, piping spec, and the size, and so on. And the same is this. No, this is a ball valve. The size is 3 inches, and I will show you how to fit this information. When you're finished, you can save your file just to have the file saved. But most important thing, the data extraction command. With this command, you are publishing your information into the network server, and they are shared with the other modules. And when you change something here, you see the changes in 3D piping. If you change something in piping, you see the changes here. And I will show this, okay? But the workflow is this. Data extraction is the green arrow you show, that you see during the presentation. Okay, that's fine. And once done, you can generate your tables. Maybe the lines list or the valves list. In this case, I'm just generating AutoCAD tables inside the drawing, but all these lists can be also generated as Excel files without problems. It's very, very easy to customize the environment. So if you need to generate this, you can start from here, adding the tag and removing the quantity and add the duplication. You get this. and you get also the symbol legenda. Symbols legenda lets you to show only the used symbols. Okay, that's fine. This is the final part, but how can we get it? I show you now. We have here an environment that contains the blocks library. The blocks library is a library of AutoCAD files, and each file has a name. This, if I look into my C drive in this case, or network drive, you will find a DWG name that is 0009. Double clicking it, you get the descriptions. ESAPro works managing 5 languages. This means that the Italian description is provided by ESAIn, and so the English description. But if you want to add your own description, Turkish description, for example, you can use the 3rd or 4th or 5th language. So you can choose, you may choose what language you want to use for your list. The software is in English and in Italian, but you can use the Turkish description plus an English description. You can have more than one description. And for each symbols, you may have different graphic representations, a flange version, a threaded version, circuit weld, or many other. If your customer is asking you to use different symbol, is not a problem. You may have 99 different representation for each symbol, and it's very easy to customize a symbol. It's just an AutoCAD block, so you can create a block and save it into a library, not much more. And here you have all the categories: the valves, actuators, line components, motors, generators, and so on. But most important is this part, because ESAPro P&ID it has a unique approach in this market, because is a spec-driven environment. This means that when you add a valve over a pipeline, you don't have to specify anything, because the valve is suggested automatically by the software. And this because you have a pipe spec environment included in P&ID environment, so you can create your my piping spec 888. This could be my spec, and here you can specify the components you use usually. Maybe a spec for water treatment plants. Okay, that's fine. Usually I start from 15, and the highest pipe possible for this spec is 200 or 8 inches. You see the 2 measuring systems, because you may choose what you want to show at any time. Maybe metric units or inches, and here you can specify the line, the pipe material, maybe carbon steel. So it's very easy environment. You can create a spec in few minutes. For example, the gate valve, I want to use it. I want to use the gate valve starting from 80 and more. In this case, I want to use a standard that is ASME or DIN or any other British standard or any other standard. And here you may specify the rating for this valve. If you don't have this information now, don't worry, you can leave this field blank and add in this information 1 minute before you are creating the valve list, because differently from other systems, the valves property are not saved inside the drawing, inside each object. That this force you to synchronize your information if you change the piping spec, but differently from other systems, the information are referenced. Okay, you can't change the rating of a single valve because it's a spec driven. So if you change the rating and the spec, everything was fine because all the drawings will be updated automatically. And here you may also specify the tagging prefix because the software will provide an automatic tag name for the valves. In this case, the GV, GV1, GV2, according to your needs. You don't have any restriction here. And if you want, you may add the manufacturer model, but in this case, that's enough. I want to have this aspect for this valve. Okay, is a flanged valve, and I want to represent this as flanged component and raised face and type. Insert. For smaller sizes, you can insert a ball valve and so on and so on. I go fast now because you understood the idea. Is a spec driven. So the ball valve is used from 15 to 75. The tag is BL, and the end type is threaded, and the threaded is this one, and so on. At the end, you get something like this, more or less. This is a real piping spec that includes only the pipe and the components, inline components and hand valves, not much more. This is one possible workflow if you have only the P&ID. Another workflow could be, okay, I want to share my piping spec with the piping, and in this case, you don't have to create your piping spec in this way. You can reuse the existing piping specs. Using this approach, you have the advantage to manage your piping spec in a unique environment, is the piping environment. And when you change something into your piping spec from the piping, this affects the P&ID as well. But if you need a piping spec just for an offer, for example, okay, this could be a good approach. And in this case, you have check valves from 15 to 70s that are socket wells, and from 80 to 200 are flanged, and so on. This is what is under the cover, okay, and you will see how ESAPRO works. So just add a vessel here, a block. Here you can type your tag, but if you specify your tag manually and you reuse an existing tag, I'm typing the same tag I have in this filter, you get a warning, okay, because you have an application check. Not only in this drawing, but the whole project. If you have many DWGs, it works anyway. Do you want to proceed anyway? We are flexible. Okay, you want to keep this and change this? You can, but in this case, no. I want to change this. And here you can specify your manufacturer model. If you use usually tanks provided by Storage Equipment Ltd, you can use the paste data function that lets you to paste data of your tank directly from an external Excel sheet you fed in the time while you need to have a specific equipment. You can add your usual equipment there, okay? Then you can stretch this, and then you can add a table, this, and this table here. With this table, you can see the properties of this tag, okay? You can customize this table, but double-clicking on it, ESAPRO is very user-friendly. You have standard AutoCAD plus one menu here, and mostly you do the thing with double click. Okay, double click is change properties. Okay, what is this? I installed, okay, yesterday I installed a service pack. Okay, don't mind. Here I change, I create a process line. My process line is the line number 9700. The line number is provided automatically by the software. And here you can draw your process lines directly as AutoCAD line. Oh, delete this. Okay, create, continue. I want to use the object step tracking is very useful to keep the alignment. This process lines have properties, and here you can see them. This is the tag. You have here an environment that lets you to configure the tag. Is just a rule that you can change at any time. So if you want to include the design pressure and the test pressure, and you want to remove another field, is very, very easy. This is our project setup. You don't have to look many settings in many different dialogues. You have everything here, and here you can get the connections, okay, from and to. And I continue this. With continue line, I can continue an existing line number, 6177, and then, okay, draw another process lines here, and I can tag this and this, and another process line here, 02, let's start from here, and going there. Okay, this is a refill. Okay. From I have flow conflicts here, so I can reverse my flow. If you want to add a reducer to change the size, double click, and I change the size from 2 to 1. You can use AutoCAD to stretch these lines, or you have this command here that is more useful because it lets you to stretch your, okay, no component selected here, to stretch the objects, keeping the alignment points. Okay, now we are ready to add the hand valves. Spec driven. In most of P&ID tools you see in the market, you must choose what kind of valves you want to add. If you are familiar with CADWorks or AutoCAD Plant, or no, in ESAPro is different because it's spec driven. So just add a valve. The question is, pick a line here, and the software will suggest you the right ones. Is a gate valve, good, or a check valve, just these two, because they are compatible with the spec. And when you add this valve, the line is cutted, and you get all the information from the spec. You can't change this on this valve because it's a spec driven. If you want to add something or change something, you can manage this in spec. And as you can see, this is a flanged gate valve, okay, and this is a socket weld valve, according to the spec. If you don't want to use this, you can replace this with a ball valve. Okay, in this case, I'm adding a ball valve here, a ball valve here. If you try to add the valve here, you're locked because it's not compatible with spec, and so on. And when you change something, the valve will be updated accordingly. So I change this from 1 to 2, and you get this that becomes flanged. But if you change this to 4, you get a warning because it's an out of spec, so you must replace this. So with this tool, you are sure that everything you are doing is compatible with the spec. If you cut and paste one P&ID into another, you get a spec check that lets you to have the compatibility. The valve is not tagged yet. You have a prefix that is up on you. In this case, is a real project, so the rule was that every valve is tagged as MV, manual valve, but the software will add a progressive number, looks for the last used, 41, 42, and goes and proceeds. Once done, you save your data, and all the tables will be updated accordingly. Okay, so these are the new quantities and the new tags. If you want to look for a specific tag, this one, find 42. Okay, it works. The last part is the instrumentation part, because P&ID stands for piping and instrumentation diagrams. No? We works with two possible standards. The most used one is the ISA standard, okay, circular instrument, but we also support a German standard, the KKS standard, and is a standard configuration. It's just a switch you have to specify into your project if you want to work with the ISA or the KKS. For example, I want to create a loop to manage this vessel. For example, I attach an instrument here, creating a level controller and transmitter. So I generate a nozzle. Here you can specify the instrument type, LIT. Location, ubication is 88, okay, is fine. And this is the loop number. Here you can specify the manufacturer, the model, and so on. Or with paste data, you can pick this and get the usual instruments you want to use. In this case, you don't have to specify anything into your data sheets because you are filling your database. But if you don't have this information, don't worry. When you will have the data sheet, all this data will be fed automatically by the data sheet. And here you get also the range, the IO signal, very useful now for the electrical designers, and so on and so on. Then this is an LIT. I can stretch it. I can add a valve here just for dismounting it if I have a fail. Okay, this is a new valve, so I can number it, looking for the last number used. Okay, this instrument is sends a signal to another instrument that could be a discrete instrument. In this case, could be a DCS. The loop number is the same, and this could be the controller. Is a discrete, so the location must be typed manually, LIT 008. And here you have your signal lines, maybe data link or pneumatic, or in this case, it's just an electrical, is the analogic signal for 20 milliampere. The controller will control a control valve, a regulation valve. So with this come here, you can combine any actuator, is an AutoCAD block, with any base, could be standard or just a ball flanged with pneumatic controls, with spring return to have an intrinsic protection. Picking here, I get the balloon. What is this? This is the LV level valve. And here you can specify the materials, rating, manufacturer, and also in this case, I want to use a standard valve for me as a Siemens valve, two-way control valve with servo control. And here you have all the information, the intrinsic protection, the IO signal, and so on and so on. Once done, I can close this, and that's it. I save this. Okay. And then if you want to get an instrument list into as an Excel sheet, you can select all the drawings you want to get. For any drawing, you can select the revision you want to get, because one thing that I didn't say yet, didn't told you yet, is that ESAPro is able to store all the previous revisions into the same database. So you can get a previous revision at any time, or you may compare between the two. And we'll show you this is a killer feature of ESAPro. This feature is also available in 3D piping. This means that at any stage you can match between revisions to see how much materials you have more or less to comparing it with the previous revision. Okay, in this case I have just a revision 0, generate list, and this is the final result. Okay, with all the instruments. But if you want to create a new revision, you have just to open this, save it with another name, maybe this one, revision 1, yes. You have just to change the revision index here, properties, and then you can change something. Okay, I want to delete this valve. I want to add a new valve here, maybe a check valve, and I want to name it as 99. And then I want to change something here, add a new valve here. No, the size is the same. Just add the new valve here. And this is the number 66, just to be able to recognize. So I deleted something. I add a new item that wasn't present before, and I change the quantities in this case. Okay, data extraction. You get a notification, and ESAPro is telling you, okay, understood. This is a new revision of this document. So you are not changing the revision 0, but this is the revision 1. And at this stage, I'm just saving the previous data into the backup area. You will see. Okay. Then this is my current revision for the whole project. The current revision that all the users of the teams are watching is revision 1. So if I get the valves list total, this is the current revision as Excel file revision 1. But if you want to get the revision 0, you have it. This is the revision 0. But most important, you can match between the two. So revision 1, comparison with a 0. And here you get the quantities. With this column, you have the current quantities. On this column, you have the previous ones. And here you get the differences. -1, +1, +1, and with a letter that shows you the state. Okay, A, nothing changed. B, new items. And D, difference in changes. Okay, the same is for the tags. Comparison. Okay. These are the new items, and these are the deleted items. Okay, that's fine. Let's close the ESAPro P&ID part. So with ESAPro P&ID, you're able to create a process scheme and get the first list, lines list, equipment list, roles list and components list in an easy way. It's very user-friendly. At the end, you get a standard AutoCAD drawing. The next step is 3D piping. I will do the same thing I made in P&ID in 3D, showing you the interaction between the twos. Okay. Good. This is a 3D model made by ESAPro, 3D piping. I will show more examples with bigger plans. It's just a small model I use for the demos. It's a real project, but it's just a small part of a real project. And as you can see, 3D solid. These equipment were made by ESAPro. This pump will be imported as step file, but is a standard solid. The first thing I want to show you is the compare with P&ID command. With compare with P&ID, I have a browser that shows you all the objects you already have and all the objects you don't have yet. In white, you see the objects that are missing. Here you have all the P&ID drawings you have into your project. And the green items are the items you already have. In this case, I have the pump, but I don't have the vessel yet. If you want to see where is this object, you can highlight it. You have this, and you have also the possibilities to show the P&ID. And in this case, you have a floating dialog that lets you to find the object directly into this window. You may also disable the original colors, and in this case, you will see everything in green, the things you already have, and in gray, the things you are missing. But what if I have a mismatch between the twos? Okay, imagine that you have changed something into your pump. From the P&ID or from the piping, don't mind. If you double click here and you change something, A1, okay. As you can see, you get a mismatch color, red alert. You have the same feedback into your P&ID. This means, okay, you have a misalignment between the twos because you change something from the P&ID, from the data sheet, from the electrical environment, but some data are not the same. And here you see the differences, okay? The area is, in this case, you have a value here and you don't have the value here. You see this also into the scheme, okay? Okay. So you may choose. What's the point? Do I have to synchronize 3D object according to the P&ID? Or do you want to synchronize the P&ID according to the piping? Because, you know, in the perfect world, you have a P&ID that is up to date, and the piping is coming later. No, so if you change something in P&ID, you must change the same thing in 3D piping. But in real world, this means that sometimes may happen that you have to change a thing from the piping first and then into the P&ID. So you have the same button also in P&ID, synchronize. You can't synchronize the P&ID from the piping, obviously, because the process engineer needs to have knowledge about this misalignment. But in this case, okay, I want to accept this because it's just mistyping. Okay, I want to synchronize back. If you have a red sign, you may choose who needs to be to update the drawing with the synchronized object. Okay, I want to add a vessel now. This vessel. I want to draw this vessel using ESA Pro. Good. Resize this browser. It's good. Equipment, vessel. And here you may choose what kind of vessel you want to create. The size to, okay, 1,400. Yes, this. And now I have a new vessel. I don't have any information about this vessel, but I have information on this vessel that comes from the PNID. So you don't have to type anything here, but just pick this and associate object, and it works. This is the way you may link two objects. Okay. Then I go on wireframe. Here, 400. Okay. One nozzle, 1 inch. I'm using the same piping spec I used for the pipelines, and I will show you the piping spec environment and the catalogs. It's very easy to manage. Believe me, it's not difficult to create a new catalog or new components, but you have many standard catalog provided out of the box. And you can draw a nozzle starting from here and specify the direction. You don't have to specify the nozzle position to strange dialogues. You have just to draw it. Maybe 800. And I want to turn right 400. Okay. Double click. And 1. This is the nozzle number. I don't know why I didn't have to install the service packs yesterday, but Windows service packs. Don't mind. It works. It's just a warning. Then you can draw your pipeline, but before creating the pipeline, I can add some steelworks. Okay. With this common here, you can add beams or pipe racks or wrench poles or many other things. You have just to select the shape. You can customize the catalog if you want to add different standards. The alignment point, and then you have to pick 2 points, this point and this point. And with a line, okay, with line, and then adjust and rotate. So I draw some beams, but they are actually 3D solids. So you can use the standard AutoCAD Boolean operation to interact with them, but we provide a set of specific commands that lets you to cut the interferences, trim, extend your shape. You can pick just a face and cut this. It's like the AutoCAD slice command. If some of you are familiar with 3D AutoCAD 3D modeling, is just the slice command. 3D orbit. Okay, and just slice this face here. This to avoid interferences, because we have also the interferences check here. And if you leave this, you get wordings from IntelliSense Check. This is standard feature for beams, but you may add racks, okay, or columns. You can add grids. Just the basics, not Tekla, okay, but just to have an idea now, an overview about how what you need. I start from here, pick point. I draw a circle, and then I can draw a grating. All these features are included into the 3D piping module, and then you can add your railing. Just pick this point here and the object snap here and object snap here, just to have something to work with. And I can add a stair with railing. Okay, and then you can move it easily, no? From this point, end point of this, to end point of this F8. Okay, end point of this. So this framework was made using this feature. We have also the ladders, the spiral staircases, and at the end you can count how many beams you have. We are ready to perform the piping. We can also import an external file for equipment. Could be from Creo, from Inventor or SolidWorks or any other. In this case, I'm just importing a SAT file or a step file. It's the same. And any geometry imported can be converted into an equipment. So this is a vessel. This is not yet a vessel, but I can convert this into a user equipment, attaching the data. This is TK002. Okay, that's it. We are ready. We can work directly from on this nozzle. I can draw a pipeline. For example, this B1E, the spec 1 inch, and then I can catch this point with AutoCAD center snap. Okay, F8, and you can draw your pipeline directly from here without any restriction. You want to add a flange? Okay, you can add the flange here. And if you want to add a valve, spec-driven, no? The valve is suggested automatically by the software. Okay, this is, you are in AutoCAD, so you can change your object easily. For example, you can move them here. If you change your mind, you can delete this, delete this. Okay, you can draw an axis, continue line from here to there, and you can dress this line. So you are very, very free now. Okay, this is a pipeline. You can stretch it also using the same command I had in PIDs. So you can stretch this here, or just move this here. Very, very easy. But now I want to continue my PIDs. So I have this line number. I want to draw this line in my by piping this line here, 9,700. It starts from here and going there and adding this valve. It's good. The line is not drawn yet. I want to draw this line. I'm using the same line number that comes from the PID, so I have the same process data. I pick this point, and I have just to pick the distance if you want, or with the connect option, you may pick this, and you have an automatic routing function. And in the meantime, the software is looking for possible clashes. The yellow pipe is just for clashes. Press enter. I don't know why. Just a moment. I want to close the drawing. Yes, and reopen it, or just close the piping and reopen it. I don't know why I have so many warnings. Sometimes, you know, the best practice in AutoCAD is close and reopen. Oh, good. Okay, that's good. And then I want to launch the automatic dressing function. And according to the spec, you get the elbows, the pipes, the flanges. And this is a 300-pound flange. And this is the gaskets with the bolt set. But the line is not complete yet, because I need to add a valve. Is drawn because it's bold, but it's not green yet, because here you look at the branches, I have this valve. Okay, let's add this valve here, the gate valve. You can rotate this angle 45 from this side and specify a distance to this point. How much is 1000? And the trick is the same. Link, and that's it. So here you may filter, no? What I need to do, what I did, what is mismatched. Okay. You can get a report in Excel that lets you to have an idea, and then here you can draw another pipeline with a guiding path. In this case, I want to start it from here, go in there, and keep the same alignment of this pipe, for example. Or if you prefer, I want to avoid some obstacles. The approach is this one. You may use this icon as the reference icon symbol that lets you to catch some points, some reference points. Could be this point and this one, or a point at a specific distance from this one, maybe 400 and how much? 100 more. This is my reference point. Once done, you can hide the parts you don't want to show. Hide object, for example, all these objects. Okay, so you can clean your model, and then you can work into an empty environment, but you're sure that you're not clashing to any other obstacles, because you have this as guidelines. So continue line here. You may specify 2,200 and more, or just pick this plane, and then you can pick this plane, and then you can pick this plane and this one. Very intuitive, though. You don't have to worry about how much is. You can just pick the plane, and the standard solution is provided as an orthogonal direction, but you may also specify the angles. Okay, and close it. Or you can draw your pipeline as usual, no? Just specifying the dimensions, but you may switch your auto mode off. So when you switch your auto off, you work in slope mode. How much is? So if you need to create a slope, you don't have to worry. You just switch this, specify how much it is, or the inner angle as angle or percentage. It's up on you. This is 1,500, and this is 650. Okay. The slope will be recalculated, and here you get a cutback elbow. You can stretch this to, and when you change something, everything is updated accordingly. No, I can add the flange here, add the valve here. If some of you are familiar with AutoCAD plant, I will show you a thing that AutoCAD plant is not able to manage. This case, for example, I change this size from 2 to 1. And everything is updated correctly, from butt weld to socket weld, from welding neck to slip-on, and this you don't have any drop symbols or any kind of problems, because ESAPro is able to manage all the changes easily. And here you have the standard catalog. So you have all the catalogs with a hierarchy, with the pipes, elbow, branches. For example, if you have the valves, you have the straight valves, and here you have all the components provided in the catalog. The Italian description. I want to show the English description here as first column. Better. And here you have for each object, you can copy and paste this table to change the dimensions. It's very, very easy because you have only to provide the mandatory dimensions that are the blue fields. The yellow fields are optional dimensions, and you can change your description, your hand wheels, and so on. And here you can create your own spec. My piping spec 777. And here you have just to pick the object. Very, very easy. Just the pipes, butt weld elbows, and socket weld elbows, for example. Yes. And for any object, you may pick here the pipe you want to use. Okay, English description. First, here, scheduled standard pipe. Schedule standard is this one, from 15 to 200. And here you can include the schedule standard elbows. This one. Long radius, only from 3 to 8, because I want to include socket weld elbows from lower than 3. Okay, pick this. The standard sizes are automatically added by the software. And here you may choose if you want to show the inches or millimeters as nominal sizes. This is the maximum pipe length. If you have the pipe that is more than 12 meters, you have a joint, and could be a welded joint or half or with a coupling or flanged joint, and this is the minimum pipe length. And the weld thickness, how much is the weld space? if you look at the model, you see that you have the well space here, and this is it comes from the spec. Launching the data extraction, you can perform the bill of materials, okay, and get an Excel file with the components BOM with all the materials together. You can configure this output, adding or removing columns according to your needs. So if you want to know how much pipe you have here. But if you want to have a better idea, and you may add, for example, the line number as first column, and you have your material divided per line. In this case, you have 14 meters. Okay, but let's see what happens if you select this with the line number as first field, and you look just the pipe. Okay, you have the quantities divided per line and per size. If you have more than one size to each line, you get how much is this, how much is that. So the software is very flexible because according to the output you want to get, the quantity changes. So you can have material per area, per fluid, per drawing, or with any criteria. You can also get the beams with the total length and total weights and total surface for painting. The insulation, if you have insulated lines, you can get the insulations list to know how much insulation you have. And the insulation are counted for clash detections. And the joints, very interesting. You can get how many joints you have, branches, butt weld, and socket weld connections, and they are divided per size and per material and per thickness and so on and so on. The last step in piping are the orthographic drawings. What you saw since now are standard piping 3D functioning. So you can create a new layout, 150. Okay. You're just managing standard AutoCAD viewports. This is a front view. You can create also a section view, points. Okay. And model view. Yes. This is the 3D model. And here you can create flat views, monochrome views, or colored views. It's up on you. It's good. Save. You are going to layout environment, and this drawing is made by lines. You can export it and give it exactly as it is to your customers. Here you can add the overall dimensions with AutoCAD or the tags. For example, you want to show this and this, or the line numbers. For example, here I want to show working options, not the component tags, but the line tags, and that's it. Finally, isometric sketches. We don't use Isogen. So we work with a proprietary environment that is very flexible. The first interesting things is that you may choose to combine your sheets as you want. In Isogen, you have a number of sheets that is depending from Isogen. You don't have much control on it. In this case, you have a sheet splitting function that is managed from the piping. You have just a suggest, and here you have all the sheets that are suggested by the system. Oh, this is a line number, and this is another line number. So you have different sheets, but if you want to combine them together, for example, if you want to combine this, highlight, this one. Okay, this with this one, you have 80 objects here, and you want to add this object into this sheet. So you can add entities, pick this, and you have 19 objects into this sheet. And this is your intention, and ESAPro respects your intents. You can delete this. Okay, this sheet is not useful anymore, and your intention is kept. So if you add a valve here, you continue to keep the same sheet, 25 objects. Okay, once done, you can export your ISOs. These ones, okay, write files. With this function, we create ISOs files. The ISO file format is a proprietary format of ESAPro. We don't use the PCF. It's our format. And the ISO file will be read by ESAPro Isometrics. This is the third module we'll see, but it's very, very fast because it's just an automatic generation, doesn't take much time. And we close the live session just to give you an idea about not only about ESAPro is able to do, but how it works, okay, in real. Close this. And then launch ESAPro Isometrics. This is an additional application. You may have just one license of piping or 3 licenses of piping and just one of ISOs. Then launch 4 ISOs. This is one sketch. You're watching in real time, no? They are creating. We are creating the ISOs in real time. On the upper right corner, you see the 3D preview of this line. Very useful to understand the ISOs. And you have the dimensions, the balloons, everything you need. You can customize your title block. This is just an AutoCAD block. The ISO is an out-of-scale representation. It fits the title block, regardless of the number of pieces you want to add in it. And this is the line number 9700, the line we drawn in P&IDs. This is the real look of this line. This is the ISOs. A good thing is this: you can stretch the balloons if you don't like it. Or you can arrange your dimensions if you don't like them. This is impossible to make with Isogen, but it's possible with ESAPro. So you can add a dimension, rotate, and adjust to stretch it. Here you have the bill of materials with the prefabrication materials and the erection materials. They are splitted. And here you have the weights for prefabrications and the erection materials, the total weight overall, and the total surface. You have all the welds list. You have 8 welds. And this is the type, materials, and size. And this is the cut list. You have 4 pipes, and these are the lengths for each pipe. If you want to keep some erection weld for adjustment, for example, here, you can add this symbol. I'm spooling my my sketch here, and here you have a pipe A and C that becomes longer. The standard is 257, but if I relaunch the tables, okay, you have 100 more here and there, and you get the final quantities here. And this is for all the ISOs you generate here. So the graphic quality is very good, is better than Isogen, but you can improve it. If you need, you may also add a dimension directly from here, because you may add a dimension that is not provided automatically, because the sketch can be improved graphically. This could be very useful, especially if you have complex lines and you want to move the balloons or add new additional infos. Okay, that's all. We can come back to the presentation. Okay, I stop my screen sharing, and if you want, we can have a Q&A session, and I'm happy to answer to your questions if you have.
Bu sunum için Francesco'ya da Daniele'ye de teşekkür ediyoruz. Arkadaşlar sorularınız olur ise sorularınızı soru cevap bölümüne yazı ile yazmanız gerekiyor. Teams Meeting'in yukarısına sohbetin sağında böyle bir düğme göreceksiniz. Sorular arasından biz de elimizden geldiğince cevaplamaya çalışacağız. Türkçe veya İngilizce yazabilirsiniz. Bir soru gelmiş. Onunla ilgili bakalım.
Data sheets. Okay. Yeah. With instrumentation module, you can compile an existing data sheet. If you already have an Excel file, your data sheet, you can load your Excel file into the project, and with a configuration workflow, you have just to pick the cells you want to fit, because some of them can be fed automatically by the software, and other cells may be interesting that be free for you, for manual input. Once done, the software is able to populate the Excel sheet automatically from the PNID, and if you change something from the PNID, the data sheet is updated, the Excel sheet is updated accordingly, and if you change the data sheet, also the PNID is updated accordingly. On our website, www.esain.com, you have some videos that shows also this part. You have videos in English with subtitles, and you can see the interaction between ESAPRO PNID and ESAPRO instrumentation. But if you want, we can organize a live session just for me and you, and I can show you in detail. The time was not so much to show everything.
One thing I can add with the software, as we deliver ISA standard for PNID, for instrumentation datasheet, we deliver the S20 ISA standard of the datasheet that it's the standard use in worldwide.
Bu yazılımla ilgili daha derinlemesine merak ettiğiniz konular olursa bunlarla ilgili Daniel'in de söylediği gibi onlarla iletişime de geçebilirsiniz. Bizimle de iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Sizleri aydınlatacaklarından emin olabilirsiniz. Bize bugüne kadar çok yardımcı oldular. Sorularımıza hemen cevaplar aldık biz. Bir sorumuz daha var.
Are there out-of-box templates API either binded with SQL fields? In real, you don't have specific APIs because all the queries can be easily made using the user interface. We use an interface like Microsoft Access, if you know. You can pick the fields you want to add and sort the order. So if you want, you can access directly to Microsoft SQL. We can provide you the table structure. Is not a secret, but most of our customers don't need to access directly to Microsoft SQL because using the standard interface, you can customize the output as I showed you. Okay, it's just is an easy task, and during the training course, we show how to customize the outputs.
Francesca, Daniel, it was a very fine session. Thank you for all your explanations.
Thank you all.
As far as I see, there are no other questions that I see at the moment. So we also thank all the attendees for this webinar. And also let me give the information that the presentation that is displayed during the webinar will be emailed to the attendees. Let me tell this in Turkish as well. Arkadaşlar bu webinardaki kullanılan PowerPoint slaytları da sizlere e-mail aracılığıyla gönderilecek. Hepinize katılmış olduğunuz için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Umarım izledikleriniz zihninizde yeni pencerelerin açılmasına vesile olmuştur. Daha sonra tekrar görüşmek dileğiyle. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Teşekkür ederim.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.